So it sounded remixy on my side. I hope that worked for everybody.
We'll see. I
But
might have to put
anyway,
splice these in.
every
Hey,
every every week is going to be a new remix with us.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy.
how
Our
are you, Rob?
apologies
How are you, John?
to Andrew.
I'm good, Joey. How are you?
It's good. I mean, I know last week we had said that it was chilly, but now you could really feel the wind chill. So it's some cold out there now. But we have so much things to talk about. Even just this morning's group chat, I kind of found that like, what is going on with the comic book world and like beginning of the week, and like during the weekend, we just find out all these things, and then come Monday morning, and it's just like, and then this happened, and then also this, and then also this.
Well, yeah, what people don't understand is like when the three of us are chatting, we kind of figure how the show is gonna go because we
Don't tell them the secret, Rob.
I'm gonna tell them this is how the sausage is made. We recorded on Monday nights. And so we figure we've got all the news for the entire week ready to go because you guys listen to it on Tuesday mornings.
Yep.
Invariably, shit happens on Monday with new news dropping, and now like we have to readjust stuff. So
we might have to start going live to scoop these news stories, man. A lot of them already blown up, and they just broke like this afternoon. Like, how crazy is that?
It's crazy.
You know what though? At least by the time people are hearing this, it's only going to be for a few hours, 12 hours. So
yeah. So just make sure that you know that our show comes on, Tuesday, basically the morning time.
Yeah.
So that's we should be your wake up. Like literally it goes alarm, second alarm, snooze alarm, finally wake alarm, and then alarm that if you don't get up right now, then you are totally going to be late for work. And then the Sidekick show. That's how your morning should go, right?
So that's the alarm function of an individual who has no children or pets to have to take care of.
Only one person in the chat. But anyway, let's get into it, guys, because John, you've got some comic news. Rob, you have so much news.
Yeah,
and
there's
also
so much news.
We're going to talk about the Wednesday show as well. So, John, let us know what's new on the shelves this coming up.
So I'm going to go through this stuff a little quicker than usual because we've got so much stuff going on, and I don't want to slow down too much. So I'm going to give you the hits for the comics again. So Batman 3 Jokers, the final part, is dropping this week. Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, the conclusion to this pretty epic story. I would say issue 2, I wanted a little more to happen, but issue 3, hopefully they're going to bring everything home. I don't know, Rob, how you felt about that issue 2 or not.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, John. I felt like, listen, I'm nervous. I come out and say it, guys. I'm nervous. It's a lot. I feel like it's a lot of story, and you only have 56 more pages left to tell it. So
yeah, so it is a double-sized issue.
Yeah.
So a lot can happen.
Rushed.
Yeah.
And then we got Batgirl 50, which is a special issue. It is the final issue of Batgirl. Also, it is going to feature the first appearance of Ryan Wilder, who is the new Batwoman. Rob's going to mention her a little later in the news, so I'll keep going. Immortal Hulk 39, Lazarus Risen number 5, one of my favorite books. Shang-Chi number 2, Spawn 311. So that book's really getting a lot of steam lately. X of Swords Stasis, which is the single part of X of Swords coming this week, so they're giving you a bit of a break. And then a big deal book. If you followed any of the comic news and stuff, we've got TMNT, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, number 1 of a 5-part miniseries. So these are going to be oversized issues, 48 pages. So they're kind of taking a little bit from almost DC Black Label's kind of imprint, and it's already kind of sold out and being allocated at the distribution level. So stores aren't going to be getting their full orders of this book right off the bat. And they've already scheduled a second print that's going to drop December 2nd. So if you haven't already put your name on the list for it, you might miss out this week, and you might have to get in on that second print. And
when does that even happen? Like,
it's crazy.
I haven't heard of, like, it hasn't even come out yet, and all of a sudden the second print is already out there. That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something to do with the oversized format or something along those lines, but yeah, I've never had this. I've never gotten an email from the company. So this wasn't even from my distributor. It was from IDW itself that said, there's going to be issues with this. We apologize. We're giving you guys a special cover and all this, yada, yada, yada. And the second print is this. So order it now. So we'll see how that goes, but it sounds like a really cool book. It's kind of set in the future, and there's one turtle left. So normally there are 4 turtles, for those of you that don't know. And it's going to be this one turtle trying trying to save the world and do right by his family. And it was actually an old concept script from way back in 1987 that Eastman and Lard actually did back in the day. So that's kind of interesting. I thought it was a new story, but it's actually something that's been kind of kicked around for a while. So it's neat that this is finally coming to light. So those are the main books that are coming out. And then I'll jump quickly into some merch that we're getting. So I'll bring this up here. So we're getting a bunch of shirts just in time for Halloween. So we're getting the Batman New 52 symbol. So pretty standard fare. And then we are getting a bunch of Joker stuff. So we are getting this guy. Looks
what am I doing?
Here. Oh. Yeah, I'm like, is this a Robin in his younger years? So this is the DC Heroes Laughing shirt. So that is Batman Who Laughs there on the front. And then they're doing another just simple one, Batman Who Laughs. They have this one called Evil Rising, which is maybe a Guns N' Roses spoof or something like that, which is pretty hilarious. And then we're getting a Superman core symbol, which is pretty cool. And then I will mention 2 art books coming out. We are getting the Deceased portfolio book, which is going to feature the zombified covers and stuff like that from DC's Deceased line. So there's like 20 different mini posters that are going to be in there. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then we are also getting the Marvel Art of Mondo poster book. So if you're not familiar with Mondo, I do have a couple pictures of that. You've probably seen it around. They do like these canvas renditions of movie posters and all kinds of fancy stuff that looks pretty wild. So you've probably seen them on the internet, but they're going to release an art book for it. So that's pretty cool.
I think they should release a wallpaper of all of these because that looks amazing.
Do they still do movie? Do they still make those? Like, you back in the day,
amazing.
Like 10 years ago, you would go online to your movie website and you'd be like, oh, download the wallpapers and icons. Is that still a thing anymore? I don't even know.
No, I haven't. I haven't really seen. Like I'm one of those people that change my like wallpapers all the time. So I would know, but no, there hasn't been.
Wow.
Yeah.
Progress.
It's nuts. Yeah, so that's yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm trying to get ready for Rob's stuff because we got so much stuff going on. But that's pretty much it for the new releases that I wanted to mention this week.
Well, I'm really excited for 3 Jokers.
Yes,
I'm really excited.
All right, and so is that all that's in the shelves? Any toys that we should watch out for as well?
We are getting the 112 Gambit. We also are getting what else are we getting? We are getting Rainbow Dash Bishojo statue, which Rob is really going to be on board for. It's kind of like a humanized version of the My Little Pony character Rainbow Dash. So I should have pulled a picture from it because it's pretty funny, but you'll have to search it online.
Honestly,
it's already in Rob's search bar.
I'm a girl brony. We haven't decided on what to call that yet. I don't know if it's still just the same thing.
I think you're just a regular fan.
I know, but I can't get into like when they humanize the ponies. I'm like, just let them be ponies. Like, why? Anyway, Rob, you're the big guy for like the show today because you have so many things to say. But let's get on with nerd news with Rob. What's going on? What's the first thing you want to tell us?
Nothing. Good night.
Nothing. Perfect. All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
And exit stage left. Okay. So seriously, I say this to you guys every week. It is sometimes difficult to try to gather some of these, there's always news every week, right? You try to figure and pull some stuff together, but every week there's just these big bombs going off, or at least what we kind of consider in like the nerd verse big bombs, right? And we're going to start off with probably the smallest one, but this is the one I want to start and break John's heart. I'm going to start off
with baby bombs to big bombs. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to start off with breaking John's heart. The Fast and the Furious franchise, everybody, is coming to an end. I know we are still now going to be waiting an extra year for Fast and the Furious 9. But word has come down from Universal that Fast and Furious is going to end with number 11, which means we still have 3 more Fast and the Furious movies.
9 hasn't even come out.
No. So we've got 3 more. We have 9, 10, and 11. But they've said that it's ending with number 11. My prediction, guys, we're probably going to see more. We're going to see some spinoffs. We're going to see some. I think the Fast and the Furious brand is going to continue for decades because that thing just prints money, man.
What is it about Fast and the Furious, right? Like, I mean, the racer cars is always going to be popular in some sort of way. Muscle cars are always going to be popular in some sort of way. And I guess that there hasn't been another movie that does it like in a franchise way. So maybe that's why it's living on.
Well, John has always had an interesting theory in that essentially it's a superhero. It's a comic book. It's a comic book come to life using vehicles. Which, hey, listen, if you think about many '80s TV shows, whether it was Airwolf, Knight Rider, or whatever else, cars and vehicles were always really a hit with people, right? So for whatever reason, it resonates.
It's like the best of the '80s brought into current continuity, if you want to call it that.
Well,
but
listen, the plots are shit. Let's be honest. The plots are horrible, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right? Because listen, physics
don't exist in this world.
Don't exist in this world. I mean, you can't. The Rock is a scary, intimidating, strong individual, but there's no way that guy can actually physically maneuver a missile,
torpedo,
right? Or a torpedo. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. So. The people love these movies. It's like opening up a Tim Hortons in a small town. This stuff just prints money. So, sorry, John, but listen. The good news is you probably have until 2027 before
we've got a lot of movies ahead of us. Yeah,
you're good to go.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. James Gunn, man, this guy is, I gotta say, one of the most engaging directors online with his fan base.
Oh yeah,
he's always answering people on Twitter or Instagram. Anyways, he was asked by a fan recently on Twitter, and I just want to get the actual the individual was asking, Harley Quinn has franchise armor, King Shark and Amanda Waller also have protected. You're not going to be killing anybody off. And James Gunn came out and said, no character has been protected by DC. They gave me carte blanche to do what I wanted. That was one of the things that we agreed upon. And then he said, it really sucks having to tell an actor you're killing a character they play, especially if they played the character in another film or if they didn't die in a first draft. So, my immediate instinct goes right to like Harley Quinn or Captain Boomerang, because those are two returning characters to James Gunn's Suicide Squad. That they're the only two from the DCU that haven't been anywhere else. But I think it's a red herring. Do I really think he's going to kill off Harley Quinn? Probably not. But movies,
you're not going to take Margot Robbie out.
No. Also, like Harley Quinn is kind of like the biggest thing that it was ever to happen in Suicide Squad. Like, there's a whole bunch of people that even forgot that Jared Leto's Joker was in it. So come on, she's the moneymaker.
Yeah, well, you never know, and you never know how things are going to happen. And Joey, I'm so glad you mentioned Jared Leto and the Joker.
This guy,
probably the worst portrayal of the Joker character is returning.
Okay.
Look at this fool. He is returning and will be part of Zack Snyder's Suicide Squad.
I don't know why. To me, I thought you were going to say Tyler Perry's Suicide Squad.
I thought you was going to say Ja Rule for a second there. Ja Rule producing movies? Holy crap, what happened?
No, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jared Leto is apparently signed on to be returning as a clown prince of crime. In what capacity? I have no idea. I don't know how long, cameo, whatever the case may be. But he's not the only person coming back, guys.
No.
Joe Manganiello is also returning as.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Manganiello? Manganiello. Manganiello?
You said Manganiello.
Really?
That's what it sounded like for a second to me.
How do you pronounce Rorschach?
Hey, we're not talking about Rorschach here. Get out of it.
To all our listeners, we're allowed one, okay? We're allowed one.
Well,
no, multiple. We're allowed multiple.
Pronounced differently. I've heard Manganiello. I've heard Manganiello. It's you know what? It's just Joe.
Hey, Rob, say my last name one time.
What's that?
Say my last name one time.
Captain Canary. All
okay,
right.
perfect. Go ahead.
Apparently, he's married to Sofia Vergara, and they just had like this mini Modern Family reunion. There was a photo posted online just the other day with his like the dyed blonde hair looking like Slade Wilson. So definitely this guy's coming back. I actually am excited because the end of Justice League had the promise of seeing Deathstroke, and man, this guy can play Deathstroke, so I really want to see.
Yeah.
Was it actually in the movie, or was it a deleted thing that was released later? I don't remember seeing it in the actual movie, but
well, that's probably because if you went and saw Justice League in the theater, you probably left right as soon as the credits started rolling. It was at the very end credits. It was or mid credit scene. It was the mid credit scene or the end one, because then they had the Superman, the Flash. So that was mid, and then this one with Luthor with forming the Legion of Doom. That was the end credit scene of Justice League. Moving on from that, let's go to my friend and yours, Tom Holland. This guy just dropped a picture. We all know he is starring as Nathan Drake in the Uncharted movies.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be honest with the people who listen to this show, who probably listen to the main podcast. Andre, when we sent this out, he was like, what the hell? He was like, this is too young. Da, 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 da. Listen, this is not Nathan Drake as we have played him in the Uncharted games. This is I guess you can almost call it like an origin story, right? This is how he becomes Nathan Drake. At any rate, I think it looks great. And the reality is he's filming this and he's going to be in two more sequels he's likely signed up for. And it's,
okay.
People usually sign for 3 movies. And he's going to be, he's got another 10 years playing this character. So he can definitely grow into the role for those who
He's a good looking kid. He's a good looking kid. I think maybe we're just getting older, like us in the chat, not Joey. Us are getting older. So like, I don't know if you guys have watched Transformers anytime recently, like Shia LaBeouf.
The original Transformers?
Yeah. He looks really young in it. I don't remember him looking this young until I'm now this age watching it going, wow, this guy is such a kid, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I think he looks great. I'm actually really excited to see how he rolls off. Also, somebody else had tweeted out on their Instagram feed, and I'm leaving this one for Joey because I know Joey super excited to hear about Mr. Marky Mark himself.
Oh God!
John, you got the
I
photo?
got a picture. Yeah, I got a picture from Joey's locker.
Of course,
Right.
Circa 1990.
do you have the photo of him starring as Sully?
Hey, no,
Sully.
I only found this.
There you
Gosh.
go. There he is.
Look at that daddy mustache. My gosh.
Yeah, like that's the type of look that says you have a restraining order for 150 yards away from any school or playground.
It also says Joey's getting feelings, but that's one and the same.
The new locker poster for 2020.
I'm gonna specifically get myself my own standalone locker just so that I could put this picture up. That's the plan.
Now he stars as Sully, who is Nathan Drake's, I guess, mentor or guardian or whatever the case may be. The best part about that, though, is if people haven't seen it online, just go to Mark Wahlberg's Instagram page, and it's like literally a 3-second clip. But because people are like, "Hey, we got to see Nathan Drake. Show us Sully," and he sends that out, and he's like, "Don't even ask. Don't ask." So you got to check that out. And Joey, I hope you're okay. You don't need a bottle of wine after.
No, I just
good
I have
vibration.
a Gatorade Blue. I'm fine. I have a Gatorade Blue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, one thing that we've been talking about over the last number of weeks, we can even go as far back as May when Black Widow was delayed because of the COVID times, is what's happening to these movies. Are they going to be moving to the streaming sites? We know that Mulan went streaming. We've talked about it a few times. We know that Soul, the new Pixar movie, is going straight to Disney+. There have been Bill and Ted did a combo of both in theater and streaming same day.
Yeah.
Now, there was an interesting story that broke about, I guess it was on Friday or Saturday, that it's potentially that the producers of the James Bond movie No Time to Die, which is supposed to come out in April, then moved to November, and now is going back to next April 2021, apparently was, some studios, Netflix and Apple specifically, were kind of interested in purchasing the movie to stream through their services. Does anybody want to take a ballpark of how much they would have had to have paid based on this article? MGM?
I'm not going to
600 million.
John, you either read the article or are a soothsayer. Yes,
I'm a bean counter in my spare time, and I was like,
yeah. So
I
apparently,
think you got to give Daniel Craig this much, give Naomi Harris this much.
Account for the marketing and how much they
Yeah,
would
I had the whiteboard out before.
Yeah.
And it's like what? It's a beautiful
I
mind.
could pretend to be like Rob on the podcast when you ask him a question. He's like looking it up on his phone. It's like, well, exactly. A mountain is 11,000 square foot high off the floor. Because I refuse to be wrong.
Actually, behind whatever John's green screen is, it's actually like an Eobard Thorn kind of like, like.
I've got a team. I've got a team back here that pops these out and feeds them into my earpiece.
Yeah.
They're not very good though. That's why it's all mediocre.
So apparently they James Bond, they took a look to see if it was possible and potential, and that's the number they put out. And a surprise to nobody, neither Netflix nor Amazon or Apple TV.
They didn't take the bait.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, 600 million? Sure, let me see. I got 5. I got 12. Let me see what else we got. Jimmy, can you put them in?
We'll trade you Project Power 2 and 3.
Oh God. We'll give you Grace and Frankie. How's that?
Yeah. So you know what? I always like to think that where there's smoke, there's fire. $600 million is unreasonable because how is any company going to recoup that? Nobody. Will people who don't have Netflix now, will that force them to sign up for Netflix? Likely not. Maybe Apple TV for a month, and they'll ditch the service. So I don't think it's coming to a streaming service anytime soon based on those conditions. But
unless the movie's going to cost you like $500-$600 and it's like a cell phone where they lock you in, you're like, all right, so Netflix, you can sign up for 7 years. But you get 007, die another, whatever the iteration is,
no
for
time
free. And you pay terminate your contract. Then you got to pay out the rest of the, the $500 for that movie. But
at least you've got it.
Special plan.
Yeah. So I don't think it's coming to a streaming service. That being said, listen, man, you never. 2020, 2021 is just going to be 2021 is going to be a wacky year. I have now given up hope about any real major movies hitting theaters in 2021. So you don't know. Maybe, you never know what's going to happen. The fact that conversations were had is interesting. And I think you know what? Just like James Bond and Sean Connery, never say never again. And lastly, today, big news.
So did they say it in the actual movie though?
Yes, he did, John.
Did they? He snuck it in like when they mentioned the title of a movie and they're like, never say never. Again. That's a terrible Sean Connery, but
Yeah, I don't even know what that
was. Oh my God, that was Sean Connery. It's more like never say never.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't even a Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't even know what that was, John.
We don't know who that was. That was
some guy named Earl from...
That was an original. I'm in for the 007 Lower Decks animated feature. That's what I'm auditioning
for. You might have some time to wait. And finally today, some big news came out in terms of DC unveiling some costumes for 2 of their shows. Mm-hmm. First off was Titans. So Kieran Walters, who plays the Jason Todd version of Robin. We've talked about this, actually, the 3 of us in the previous show, how I had said he looks too young to be stepping into the role of the Red Hood. But nobody at DC is calling me up saying, hey, you know what, Cadet, we think you might be onto something. You're right.
Also, they're missing a step before Robin becomes Red Hood. There's a key thing that happens. He dies.
One of these.
Yeah, he dies horribly via Joker's hand. So I don't know. I'm not up to date on Titans, but I don't recall that happening yet.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't happened in season 2. We don't know what's going to happen in season 3, except we do know this: is that they unveiled the costume today of Red Hood, and I gotta say, like, they unveiled 2 pictures. One was a artist's rendering, and then this one, for those who are watching on YouTube, it looks pretty sick. I gotta say, I am very impressed with how it looks. I still personally have an issue with Kieran Walters. I think he's just too young, and it's not and it's not like, I know it sounds contradictory. I'm just talking about how Nathan Drake Holland were too, I don't think he was too young, but that's an origin story. To John's point, Red Hood, there's a lot of time between Robin's demise spoilers from 1986, and becoming the Red Hood. So
warning.
So if you missed out on phoning in the 800
Also, this
number,
just in: Superman is Clark Kent. Spoilers.
God, why, John? You were a comic book store owner. Who's gonna buy your books now?
So John's right now showing some photos.
So this is his original kind of the costume he's most famous for is a jacket with the red helmet. So the new costume, if you're listening online, it's kind of a blend between his old costume and his new costume. So they've kind of added a hoodie to his typical outfit, so which is kind of like his current costume that he's wearing now in Red Hood and the Outlaws. So they've just kind of almost melded the two together. So it's a leather jacket with a red hood and a red metallic shiny helmet and tactical pants and shiny boots
and guns.
Yeah, and guns. Yeah. Is there a lot of gunplay in Titans?
Yeah.
I guess so, but Red Hood's got a lot of gunplay. I mean, like, look at it. Listen, it looks like he's wearing Indiana Jones leather jacket, which I'm for. He's got obviously a red sweater, a hoodie, like you said. He's got the bulletproof vest with the Red Hood symbol on it. I'm hoping that's a full helmet and not just like a face mask. I'm hoping it's got like the full helmet. So I think it looks really good. I mean, hey, listen, they could have shit the bed and made it look a whole lot worse. I think it looks okay. I'm happy with it. I want to see it in action. Again, it just goes back to, I just don't know if two things. I don't think he can portray that character properly. I could be wrong, and I want to be wrong. And number two, like John said at the beginning, you're missing a pretty important piece of origin story as to why he becomes the Red Hood. But that wasn't the only reveal that we got today. We also got the reveal of Batwoman. As John was saying, they in this week's comics is what's her name? Ryan Wilder. Is the new character taking over from Kate Kane. And that is played by Javicia Leslie. And they unveiled her new costume, which I gotta say, I mean, looks fantastic. It has some subtle differences to the one worn by Ruby Rose in season 1 last year. Namely, the arm gauntlets. Ruby Rose's costume, the Kate Kane one, they were all black. So she had black arms all the way down, no red gloves. They're all black, and she didn't have the fins on her gauntlets, on the arm gauntlets. So they've done up a lot more of the red. Pretty cool with that. I think it's interesting in the shot that John is showing right now, side profile. You can see she's got some red tinges in her hair, which I thought was an interesting styling choice.
John, I also, just to add it out there, just as a girl, it is very hard to fight crime with your full head out like this. But it is what it is because, one, it's going to get in the way and you can't see peripherally. Is that a word? Peripherally?
Yeah,
it is now.
So. Okay. If it's not, it is now.
It's stylish, but it's not rational. But go ahead.
You would say your periphery is what you would say.
Periphery. That is it. Sorry. Yeah. No English. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but was that the issue though with the other costume? Is that the having the hair out? I'm personally.
She's always had her hair out though. Like Batwoman has always had her hair out.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To my understanding, this is from the comments I read on YouTube. I don't know a lot, but people are saying it's like more of a natural hair look. So her hair is like kind of, instead of wearing something else or flattening it out and stuff like that.
That really fiery red wig, right? That in the comics, that's what she has, is the red wig.
Yeah.
And that's what they had last year. To Joey's point, having your hair out. I mean, the Batwoman thing, we can go into like a deep dive on how I think there's too many Bat family people as it is. And we don't have to get into that. So I don't really have any vested interest on her hair being out or not. The only person whose hair being out of their costume that drives me crazy is Wally West. I've mentioned this before. It drives me. I want to like scream.
I like that costume.
No, because listen,
he just dismissed you right away. No.
how many gingers are in the DCU, and it's pretty easy to know who the Flash is. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It always irritated me. I love Brett Booth's art, but when he drew Wally West in the Titans, man, that hair was out this way and that way and doing all sorts of things that defied the law. It was as if he was a member of the Fast and the Furious. Physics didn't make sense with his hair.
It's the superhero era.
I digress. That costume looks pretty sick. A lot of people seem to be liking it.
Yeah.
So I'm down.
I'm going to tune in. I don't know
Really?
if you've heard the character description. Yeah, she's described as a likable, messy, goofy, untamed kind of character. So like not your typical like
Joey.
I know.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, Rob. Can I just say, actually, this is nothing to do with like superheroes, but like I had asked a close family member of mine if I was clumsy, and they had said it's not that you're clumsy, however, you're just like spatially unaware. And I thought that was the nicest thing that this person's ever said to me until I was just sanding my comic boxes because I'm making like a DIY thing for it.
Very cool.
I dropped a whole bunch of things, and it's pretty confirmed. I'm pretty much capital C clumsy, italicized and bolded, so it's been confirmed.
And so that's it. Oh, wait.
Wow,
There's
Rob,
more.
I did it last week, and you're going to do it this week. However,
There's one more. So, there used to be a thing back in the day, like about 6 years ago or so. Every time DC made a big announcement, hey, we have Man of Steel coming out. All of a sudden, Marvel would be like, oh, yeah? Whack, I'm going to drop this on you. And everybody would be like, oh, my God, it's Thor, right? So DC unveils the two costumes we talked about, Red Hood and Batwoman. Decent news. Okay, cool. We're all happy for that. And all of a sudden, Marvel just, like, big news breaks, drops it on the table and says, there, check that out. Variety, The Wrap, Deadline, the Hollywood Reporter, all are reporting that Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron himself, is in talks to play Moon Knight in the Disney.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So what do you think?
So
what do you
excited.
think about this?
But here's the thing. Moon Knight, to me, there's still so much mystery. Like, I really like his powers. I don't know that much about, and I've read some things, but things still seem unclear. He's like a vigilante, obviously Batman type, but he has powers and mysticism in it, and the whole like
multiple personalities. He's not all there mentally, so
yeah,
he's gonna have to flex some acting muscles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't this character, though, the idea of Moon Knight been rewritten so many times that there are just too many origin stories in which to choose from? Has it not? Because the multiple personality issue when he was in the insane asylum. Now, was that Zdarsky who wrote that one? Was he the driving force behind that one?
I don't know. I know Warren Ellis wrote a run for him. And things like that, we'll have to consult Andre on that. He's a huge Moon Knight fan. So
do you want me to call him right now?
Yeah, we should almost brought him in right now.
4 hours. But yeah, so at any rate, he's playing the titular hero. Now, I understand back in the day that Moon Knight was Marvel's answer to Batman in a sense, right? So who knows what story they're going to go with. But a lot of people are really happy that Oscar Isaac is being cast. There's a lot of Latino fans who are very happy for representation that they have a Latino actor finally cast in a role. Let's not forget he did play an Egyptian before in X-Men.
He played Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. I think the movie was actually called X-Men Apocalypse.
It was. Yes. Thank you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I have scrubbed it from my mind, so I don't remember what he did in it.
I was like, I remember the memes thinking he looked like Ivan Ooze from the first Power Rangers movie.
MMPR, yes.
So that's what I was like. I got stuck. I was like, X-Men Ooze? No, that's not what it was. But yeah, it was X-Men Apocalypse. So now he's playing another Egyptian god potentially as Moon Knight. So a lot of people are happy. And what are you guys thinking? I mean, we haven't gotten Andre's reaction, but Joey, John, what do you think?
I'm excited for it because there hasn't ever been any other Moon Knight thing, and if people aren't really that submerged into the comic book world, they don't know Moon Knight, right? So I think that this is interesting. I've always liked Moon Knight's look. I've always liked the idea that there was, mental health kind of stuff going on into his story. And I think even at that time, maybe he's like 40 years younger than Batman. And a lot of people think that he is like the answer to Batman in terms of that, but I think he's way more than that. Like he's just not to discredit Batman or anything, but I think Moon Knight needs a little bit of sunshine in where he is. No, not sunshine, moonshine. I don't know.
Moonshine.
No, but I
Reflection.
think that's going to be cool. I'm interested to see exactly which villains are going to show up. Bushman, maybe. I don't know who would be a good casting person for that one.
So let me ask you: are you happy that it would be a Disney Plus movie show as opposed to a movie, or would you have preferred it to have been a movie?
I don't want it to be a movie, I'll be honest, because you know what? Like I like it when stories kind of like take their time. I've always been more invested in TV shows than be super super excited to see a movie. Obviously, big movies out there are great, but I do like the whole idea that you can take your time with the story because that's the way that comics work.
So, just for a point of reference, sorry, it wasn't Zdarsky; it was another fellow Canadian. It was Jeff Lemire who wrote Moon Knight, where he finds himself in the insane asylum.
He's a great character because he's kind of similar to Daredevil, where it's like he's not of a Spider-Man or like a Superman, Batman level of popularity, so they can actually get away with trying different things with him. So, like Daredevil right now is being able to do some really fun stuff in his comic series, and then he came up with a Netflix series which was great for its initial run. So I think they can really do something with this Moon Knight character, and especially if they do a TV show. I don't know if it's slated as a TV show or a movie, or where then they can explore a lot. And in this guy, I've only seen him in, I want to say, the Star Wars movies. I think he was on a show called Girlfriends or Girls or something like that before. And
you have to watch him in Ex Machina. It's
okay. Yeah.
He was in that.
Yes, it was with I want to say Patrick Gleason, but it's not. It's Pat. No, it's the guy he was the redheaded guy, also in Star Wars. The commander on the bad guy.
Sorry, is this the movie where Katie Lotz is in it and she was the robot?
No, it wasn't Katie Lotz. It was the girl who Alicia Vikander, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I don't know. I never saw it. I remember it was on my list.
Yeah, Domhnall Gleeson was is the other actor. It was Oscar Isaac and Alicia Vikander. It was Ex Machina. Anyways, I would highly recommend, if anybody hasn't seen that, it's spelled Ex Machina for those who are like, what? But it's pronounced Ex Machina. It is a fantastic movie directed by Alex Garland. You have to watch that movie. But that and all aside, I will say
in Star Wars, he comes off as very charming and charismatic. So
yeah.
He was lead role. I think he'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. In terms of the character, though, I think that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, Moon Knight? Like, seriously? I think Moon Knight as a character has a really ardent fan base, and then there's a lot of people who don't really know too much about him, like myself. So I'm actually kind of stoked because I think, John, was it Sideshow or Prime One that just released a Moon Knight statue like a year or so ago?
I think it was Sideshow.
Yeah,
I think Sideshow did include him in their premium format line because they did a Daredevil and a bunch of characters of that vein. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did a movie.
Yeah, so I mean, he definitely has a strong fan base, but there's a lot of individuals who may not be overly familiar with him, just like there were with Iron Man. I know you think Iron Man, are you kidding me right now? But let's flash back to 2008. Not everybody knew who Iron Man was. So I'm kind of excited for Moon Knight. Excited for Oscar Isaac to portray him in whichever fashion he does. And guys, that is the news.
That's a lot.
That was a lot. Yeah, we're already over time already. So
no, that's cool. But I mean, I don't want to forget this again. But what are we going to talk? What are we going to be talking about in the big Wednesday show, guys?
Oh my God!
No boy. Let's start it off.
So you saw we did drop
blood off my face.
Yeah, I did drop a clip today. So or Monday, we did drop a clip of Andre's summary of Mandalorian season 1, and you can clearly tell Andre's feelings on the show. So we were talking about Mandalorian because the brand new season 2 starts this coming Friday. So if you're watching it this relatively recently, this Friday, you'll be able to tune into your Disney Plus and watch Mandalorian season 2, episode 1. So we did a recap slash expectations for season 2 podcast, and Andre definitely does not pull any punches. But it was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Who was in it?
It was me,
In the Mandalorian.
Rob. Yeah, in the Mandalorian. Yeah, Rob.
Well,
Rob is actually under the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! No, is there going to be any special guests for the
We
Wednesday
did
show?
have Kevin Carrington, also known as The Voice. He does a lot of kind of like TV work and things like that. He literally drops in because he unfortunately got called away to work at the last second and had to do a bunch
Oh
of number
no!
of things. But he was able to drop in and give us his kind of opinions and thoughts on the subject. So it was a lot
Cameo
of fun.
appearance.
He's a really good guy. He's very energetic and fun.
Very cool.
I think overall it was like a really fun episode because you get, and for those who are listening, maybe you liked Mandalorian, maybe you didn't like it, maybe you thought it was middle of the road. Whoever's listening to this, if you watched it, I'm telling you, somebody will be speaking to you about whether or not you thought it was what you thought the series was like. And it was a lot of fun. The four of us kind of riffing off a little bit, but definitely, as John said, Andre went full on Clubber Lang and took the show to task. So it's a lot of fun.
Andre kind of like was the Joker and just kind of with the crowbar like this with the show.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. All right. That's perfect. That's what we like to hear. We like a little bit of passion, right? So Wednesday, guys, tune in. That's going to be a really, really great show from what it sounds like. And of course, we're going to sign off now. John, where can we follow Heroes World online?
Yeah, so you just search Heroes World Online on the Instagram, the YouTube, the Facebook, and if you're looking for the podcast, any of your podcast services, you can look up Heroes World Podcast.
Perfect. And thanks for tuning in. We've been doing this. How many episodes have we been doing, guys?
702.
702. Can you believe it? And that being said, Rob, where can we follow you online?
If you haven't listened to the first 701 preceding episodes, you can find me on I just love making John laugh. You can find me on the Twitter and on the Instagram at Rob Gadet. Where I'm obviously always following our good friend Joey, who can be found where?
You can find me at the Captain Canary on Instagram, and my Linktree bio is up there, so you can always check out what is going on. I don't usually mention this one, but I actually have another account called @PixelPopper, which is PXLPOPPR. That's when I do my little geeky things, which is toy photography. So I like to do a little bit of that, so you can see a little bit of it, and you can also see it in the Captain Canary as well. But I enjoy doing this. So, show me your toy photography and tag me on yours and I'll give it a like, guys. And another thing, of course, tune in on Facebook also and in YouTube and check me out hosting the Comics Vault at Heroes Manufactured. And guys, I know that we haven't had any fan expos. We haven't had any Comic-Cons. And if you're fiending for that, go check out the Amazon Prime special at Heroes Manufactured, Creators Unleashed. And honestly, it's us just going to cons. My crew goes from Toronto Fan Expo all the way to San Diego Comic-Con. So check that out.
And that's how COVID started.
And that's how COVID started. So, guys, next week we'll see you. But by that time, it's Halloween has already passed. So, that'll be interesting to kind of catch up on Rob and John to see what they've done with their kids for Halloween.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling John's going to be hiding in his bunker.
Yeah. Until next week, guys, make sure you tune into our Wednesday show. These are your sidekicks. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.